Hey, howdy, hey, welcome back. So excited to show you what is probably my favorite thing in the whole wide world in real estate is staging and photography, because I think it makes all the difference. So we spend a lot of time getting the home prepped. We spend a lot of time staging. We definitely want to get the best photos, and we want to lead with the best photo we can find. And so every home has a feature that is worth putting as your lead photo. You know, where do we start? We start with decluttering. Nobody likes the word clutter. We start with decluttering, depersonalizing. That doesn't mean take everything down. And I'm going to come in and definitely going to let you know the things that should come down. But if you make everything completely blank, then it's sort of too plain, kind of like a vacant home. But you know, it's our job to come in and tell you what shows well, what photos well, what do buyers look for, things like that. So before we dive into taking a look at these photos, because there are some really, I think, really interesting ones to look at, I want to tell you really quick about why it matters that your home sells fast in order for it to sell high. So there is a correlation between how quickly a home leaves the market, because it's in high demand. You've got people fighting over the home. The longer a home sits on the market, the more likely it is for the seller to have to negotiate either the sales price down or even start negotiating terms that are not in their favor to get the deal closed. So it is always in your best interest, and it's always doable to get your home presented in a way, priced in a way, marketed in a way that's going to get the most buyers in and get multiple offers is always the goal, to get you the best deal, not only the best sales price, but also really great terms. So terms like pick your closing date, ask to stay in the home a little bit after closing to help yourself move out, who's going to pay title policy, depending on the sales price of your home. It's going to be thousands of dollars, probably somewhere between $2,000 and $3,500, depending on your sales price. So there's things besides just the sales price that is worth your time in getting that negotiated in your favor. And you can do that if you hit the market the right way. So today's staging and photos, I won't get into too much of the other details. Starting with clutter, we have got to thin down decor in a lot of cases. I'm going to show you two extremes. One of these homes is one that I saw this summer with a client of mine, and we pretty much immediately just turned around and walked out because it was like noise. It was really hard for them to picture themselves living there. So this home is in a great neighborhood, great location. Everything around it was selling. But as soon as I saw the price they came in at, and as soon as I saw the decor, I was like, it's just too much. People just cannot see past this. It has beautiful floors. There's definitely a lot that could have been thinned out, and this could have shown really, really well. I'm convinced, based on what I see all the time in my work, that this home hindered itself by having too much stuff. So they ended up canceling their listing. They didn't get the price they wanted. They didn't get any offers. And so they had to leave the market. And maybe they're going to try again this next year. Hopefully their agent at that time can be honest with them and let them know what they need to do to get it to be appealing to the home buyers. Another one that I'd like to show you a little bit closer to home is this one. And I didn't notice this photo right away, but I did when I looked at it the second time. There's just a lot of stuff out front, a lot of pot, just a ton of stuff. And when you get inside, it gets even noisier. And just kind of the same as before, there's just every wall has a lot of things. And this could have looked awesome if it had been thinned out, but it's hard to see the home past all of the things. So again, just another example of something that probably could have been done a little bit better. I don't believe they got their final sold price, but things like this. Why is this table here? This could have been taken out for at least just the photos, you know, just to get the photos to be cleaner, and then put it back if you need it for utility reasons. But it's hard because we accumulate a lot of things over the years, so it's hard to thin it all out. But so I like to show examples whenever it's good stuff of things that are my listing, so you can kind of get the idea of what shows well, what do people like to see, so it's just not too much noise. I'm going to take you to this one. This was actually one I did last year, and moving inside, pretty minimal things, pops of color, but just not a ton of furniture, and just keeping it to where it doesn't look vacant, but it gives somebody the ability to picture themselves living there. And one thing, if you have an amazing closet, stage the closet. And if you have an amazing man cave, make sure you show that as well, because a lot of people like to use their garage as an extension of their indoor living. They take it out to the garage. So another thing that is important whenever you're doing photos is making sure that your home's best feature is showcased. So a lot of times you'll see homes where they have a pool, but they don't have the pool be the lead photo. And in my opinion, when I'm scrolling through photos and I'm like, front of house, front of house, front of house, pool, I'm gonna stop at the house with the pool, because the majority of homes don't have pools. We know pools are in crazy high demand. This summer, we saw homes selling for 10 to 15% over list price, and the homes with pools were just in that much demand. So why not make that your lead photo to make sure people see that? So starting with this one that I did, I made sure this was my lead photo to make sure they knew immediately that it had a pool. And there's another one on here. I believe they also led with a pool. Let me double check. Okay, take a peek at this one. So this home does have a pool, and they didn't lead with the pool shot. I don't understand that at all, especially because there's nothing special out front. There's nothing that's like, wow, check out this home, honey, stop the car. So it's baffling to me that we did not have a lead photo being the pool. And I'm going to pick on this house for a few reasons. Let me get to the pool photo real quick. Here's their pool. It's a cute little pool. I probably would not have had all this stuff in it, because this is just, it looks like somebody just had a pool party and left their toys in there. I would have probably taken out some of these things, and I would have done some more things around this decking to make sure people can appreciate the pool, but I would have definitely led with the pool shot. Okay, so another example of a hero shot. So let's say you don't have a pool, but let's say you live, one of my clients lived next to a green belt, and we made sure our hero shot reflected like, hey, look at all this green space out here. This is your view. So we added the twinkly lights. We added around their fire pit a couple of colorful chairs to showcase this. And then we flew a drone so you could see up high how much space you're looking out into. So this is their view right there. Now, when you go drone, you get a little bit less color quality in your photos, but it's still worth doing. It's a little bit extra to do it, but it's totally worth it. But now you can kind of get a feel for the space. So I think it's important to showcase anything that's special beyond just the house itself. Okay, so let's get back to a couple more things that I think are worth talking about. So do-it-yourself photos. I want to call this segment "When Bad Photos Happen to Good People." Do-it-yourself photos should never be done. Don't let your agent do it. If you have an agent, you don't do it. You don't have unless you're a photographer and you have the right kind of lens, you have no business taking photos yourself of your house. You will hinder your own home sale. There is a home for sale right now. I'm not going to show it to you because it's active on the market, and a real estate agent lives there. That's her home. And she took her own photos, and they're terrible. And so that's going to be the difference in people wanting to come see it, because people have to visualize it online before they'll take a drive in the car to go see it. So really quick, let's take a look at a couple of DIY photos. So this home, you can tell that the lighting quality is not great. It's dark in here. It's kind of fuzzy, just a little bit blurry. That one's even darker. And at some point, we just start taking close-ups of things. And in real estate photography, that's really not necessary. If they have the right angle lens, they'll take a shot from back here and get the full effect of it. We don't have to be right up on top of the hardware in the bathroom, because honestly, that's not going to make or break the sale of your home. This shower head isn't going to change someone's opinion of your home, honestly. It's a minor detail. It's a beautiful shower, but that could have also been shown with real estate photography. So moving on, yeah, it's just the angles are wrong. We're kind of down low in this photo. It actually looks staged really, really well. I'm okay with the staging. It's just the photography didn't capture how nice this home probably looks even better in person than it does on the photos, I would guess. This is unnecessary. You can show them whenever you get there that you've got home security cameras up. And this is such a cute photo had it been taken with a real estate photographer. Nice kitchen, but again, we're in a weird spot taking these photos. And I think we just missed the mark on this home, unfortunately, because it's actually a really cute house. So that was one of them I wanted to point out. And the other one was the home with the pool. And it's unfortunate that we didn't get a good shot of the pool. We got lots of shots of the pool. We just don't have, honestly, of all the pictures they had, I'd probably use this as my hero shot because this is probably the cleanest picture of the pool. So they've got pictures of their pool filter and their pool equipment. This is obviously photos taken by a person with their smartphone. But you know, again, things like this, details, like this box could have easily been moved out of the way. These cords could have been moved for just the photos, if nothing else. So attention to detail. This is like everyday use items here. What is this exactly? I'm not even sure. It looks like a water bottle and some toothpaste. You know, things like that have got to get moved out of the way so people can picture themselves living there. This is an interesting one too. I love dogs. Dogs are wonderful, but don't let your pets be in your photos because not everybody can tolerate pets. You'll get people that won't even come see it because they think they have an allergy to your pet. People are more accepting of dogs than they are of cats. So just make sure that there's no like cat trees where people, you know, the cat scratching post. Make sure there's no litter boxes, no indication that you have a cat. Let someone discover when they come see the home that you have pets. Don't let them discover it when they're looking online because they'll just say, next. We don't need our CPAP machine in the shot. We really don't need a lot of this. Honestly, we should have moved a lot of this stuff out of here. Even these laundry baskets, just none of it needs to be in there. I know it sounds like I'm being picky, but I know what people say when they go see homes. And I know that I've had people before leave a home that was perfectly acceptable, but they left it because they just couldn't see past stuff. One home that I thought did a great job with their hero shot is this Valley Forge home. They led with their really nice pool photo, and that's really what you should do. Okay, one more example before I move on to the data. So if you know you're gonna sell ahead of time, let's say that you know you're gonna sell, 6 months ahead of time, save yourself money, both in doing the work and also in the payoff when you sell the home, and neutralize some walls. People have a hard time seeing past bright colors, dark colors. Everything right now in this room, I would have recommended, had they been open to it, if this was my client, to neutralize some walls. Do a light gray, a light taupe, something that's not so bold and dated. Honestly, this is a very dated color scheme. And then also, if you're getting into bedrooms and you've got old carpet, you can see the traffic pattern of the carpet right here. If you're not going to change the carpet out, which by the way, this would not have cost very much money at all to swap the carpet out. If you're not going to do that, then drop a rug, drop a big rug, put it underneath the bed and extending out here. And that's just what staging does. To cover that up, because that's something that can be a detriment to you, and the buyer can look underneath the rug and they can decide later on they're going to change the carpet. But for appearance's sake, we want to make sure that we're not seeing that. So lastly, before I wrap this video, because we talked about staging and photography, by the way, when you're prepping your house to get it staged, you can move a bunch of stuff to the garage. So everybody's very forgiving of the garage. Unless your garage is a focal point, everybody's very forgiving of garages. So just go ahead and stack up all your stuff, label your boxes so you can find the stuff if you pack something away. Just make sure that they can access the electrical box and they can access the hot water heater if it is in your garage, because the home inspector has got to be able to get to those two things. And also don't stack boxes, right up against the wall. Leave a space of about a couple of feet so that they can do a termite inspection along the walls of the garage as well. This just saves you future work when you have to move all your boxes. Okay, so lastly, we talked about why selling fast helps you sell high. There is a correlation. I'll show it to you, and you can trust me on this, between getting your home sold fast and selling it for the most money you can get. And that is how we drive that, is we get a frenzy going over the home. We get tons of buyers in. We get the agents excited about putting an offer in for their client. We do everything we can that first weekend that hits the market to get as much as we can in our hands, so we have something to choose from. And then hopefully we can create our best offer from all of those offers. So let's really quick take a peek at the data. So I like to look at days on market because that's an indicator of how fast the market is still moving. And in this geographical area, we are looking at about a 16 days on market. So if we start looking at homes that are on the market longer than 16 days before they sold, we're probably going to see lower sales price to list price ratio. So if your home is on the market for 350 and you get 350, you got 100% of your list price. If your home is on the market for 350 and you get 340, obviously it's less than 100%. So looking at this one right here, we have 48 days on market and they only got 95% of their list price. Now this is assuming that the list price made sense. It may have been too high to begin with, or the home might not have looked as good as this price commands, because every home has a price it'll sell for. I stress that because a lot of folks get tied up into what they want from the home and what they need from the home, but your home has a price in this market and it changes all the time. That's why the housing market, we see highs and lows. That's just how it is with any market. But if you kind of keep cruising up here, you look at 80 days on market, we've got 97.56% of list price, 47 days, 95%. 22 days, 99. You'll see a correlation. When we start getting past our days on market, then the seller has to start sometimes negotiating down. They'll lower their price to kind of get in front of more buyers. And then a lot of times when you've lowered your price, the buyer will then consider that to be a weakness and they will exploit it sometimes and try to get you to come down even further. Doesn't always happen. Sometimes you're going to see high days on market and you still got more than 100%. So it's not all the time, but it's a lot of the time. So it's really important to hit the market right. So the next thing we're going to talk about is pricing your home based on where it is in the market. Where does your home land in terms of condition, location, amenities, compared to the comps? So where does the market say your home should be priced? And after we get that price, are we near a price bracket where we would price at that price bracket and we would get a bigger audience and a bigger fight for the home? So that's going to be our next topic. So stay tuned. It was fun. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at any time. I'm always here and happy to help. Take care.